showing we don't need roads.
There's no possible way you would ever remember this moment. But 10 years ago, you gave me one of the greatest moments of my entire life. In the middle of a junket in Paris in a hotel, you actually danced with me in the middle of the interview.
All right.
Is there a way we can get this?
You can keep it low.
Awesome. This is the greatest thing.
Now, are you leading or am I leading? Because I feel like I'm leading.
I'll lead.
Maybe.
This is going so great. This is like the greatest moment of my entire life. And I have more people stop me on the streets a decade later. And still, I mean, I was a stupid 22-year-old kid that was somehow brave enough to ask you for that moment. And that moment will stay with me for the rest of my life. And I think I was too dumbfounded to say thank you in that moment. And so I just wanted to say that, like, you had no reason to do that for me. But that you gave me a moment that I will remember for the rest of my life. So I wanted to finally take 10 years later, take this moment and say thank you for being so kind to a college kid who had no idea what he was doing.
I'm very happy we danced, and maybe next time at Eternals or somewhere we'll dance again.
Seriously, congratulations. I love this movie. So seriously, thank you for taking the time. And I do junkets every day. So whenever I don't like the movie, I just don't say anything about it. So seriously, I genuinely really do love this movie. Mr. Lee, I'm going to start with you. There's a really powerful moment in this film where you talk about the dangers of being a firefighter. And at one point you just kind of shrug and you say, that's the job. And I'm sort of curious, what is that's the job of being an actor, the part of the profession that honestly kind of sucks, but it also just sort of comes with the profession. You sort of accepted that it's going to happen. It's what you've signed up for.
I often don't feel like an actor. Like, I don't feel like that's what's the weird thing about our job that you just have to live with? Like 5 a.m. stretching into some gold suit and your kids looking at you like you've lost your mind.
They're not used to it by now.
I find acting, it's such a pleasure. I think it's a we're very lucky, those of us who can be actors and be creative people and tell stories that way. We're very privileged.
I was really scared you were going to say junket interviews. So I'm glad that that's not what your answer was. I would imagine that sort of to pull off this role, you already understood what it means to be a protector. You can sort of pull that from your personal life, but I'm curious how often it works the other way. Do you ever learn life lessons from your own characters and then in turn put those lessons to practice in your own personal life?
Oh, yes, I'm sure I have. I think a lot of characters over the years have taught me many things, because they jump ahead and do things I've never done before, and show me a side of myself. I didn't realize how adventurous or how much I love certain things until I did Tomb Raider, or I didn't know I was capable of. And there's so much. I think that's the whole point. I think we get to explore what it is to be human and all the different ways we can be human. And then as an actor, you get to try things that you never ever thought you would. So we're strange as actors.
I got to say, as entertaining as this movie was, I also didn't expect to walk away with like survival lessons. Now I feel like if I'm ever stuck, like the whole, like you guys laying down in a river and kind of like popping up for a breath, I thought was fascinating. Do you feel like you've kind of like walked away a little bit more educated on sort of just like wilderness survival than you did when you went in?
Yeah, I reckon I do. I remember, there's a lot of stuff that I learned on this set, but I remember going out back with the trailers near the fake forest, and me and Angelina, we'd be lighting the flint and steel, trying to make a fire, just trying to learn different survival things together. It was really great. I learned a lot of stuff.
There is a really great scene in the film where you get to swear a few times, which is just fun, and it's just kind of natural. It doesn't seem forced, and sometimes those scenes can be a little forced. But I'm sort of curious, just like, I don't know, are your parents around at that point? Is it kind of awkward to swear in front of them? Do you get a pass because you're doing it with Angelina Jolie? Is it kind of an understood thing, or do you guys just not talk about it?
Yeah, I think I get a pass because, it's sort of my job to do. So yeah, I get a pass from my mom who comes on set. It's pretty good.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am 33 years old and I still do not swear around my parents. I feel like I might get a pass if it were with Angelina Jolie. Every once in a while, if I like swear during an interview and my mom watches it, she will text me and be like, "What was that word that you said?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry." Even though I'm 33 years old, I gotta say, I loved you and Angelina in this film. You guys just on camera, you guys worked really well. And now I've kind of like started looking back at her past filmography and thought, like, what other movies should Finn have been in with her? Like they would have been great. Thinking about all the great movies that she's made in her career, what's another one that you kind of wish you'd been able to join her in?
Oh, I don't know. I reckon Maleficent. I was a big fan of the Maleficent, series saga. Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed those films. I mean, pretty much anything I would have loved to be a part of, but yeah.
And I gotta be honest with you, having seen you be like as like cool and calm and everything in this film, I feel like you would fit right into the Tomb Raider films. I feel like you and Laura Croft just kind of just going through the tombs, I think would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm just happy to be a part of this one.
Well, and it's honestly, it's a genuinely really great film. I loved it a lot. And seriously, man, I really do appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Finn, take care, man. Good to see you. Miss Singler, you were such an unbelievable badass in this film. I love you. And honestly, as entertaining as this movie was, I also found it like surprisingly educational. I sort of learned like survival skills. I learned that if I'm stuck in a fire to try to find a river and try to pop up for breath. And you had to sort of learn all these skills, how to fight and how to ride a horse and how to wield a gun, all while the fact that like your character was pregnant, which I've never been pregnant, but I would imagine that's very difficult. So I'm sort of curious, what is like the coolest skill that you took away from this film?
I had never shot a gun before, so that was definitely, kind of like a threshold moment. I had never been to New Mexico before, so just spending time in that landscape, that part of the country, and then imaginatively spending time in the part of the country that the movie is set in, it really, kind of opened up that part of America for me, both physically and imaginatively. And then, just the whole experience, like, the Taylor Sheridan amusement park ride is, it's great.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.